everyone, and welcome back to Prestige Reef. For those of you that tuned in today for all the good news, you'll be sadly disappointed. Firstly, let's start with me. I was bitten by an unidentified insect in the middle of the night, and naturally, because I'm an idiot, my first thought was to test it out to see if it was a radioactive spider. As you can see from this clip, it wasn't. Unfortunately, I hurt both my arms and my ribs during that little stunt, which meant this week's water change was pretty interesting. I also would appear to lack any form of telekinesis, therefore moving water barrels around with no arms is no easy task. Some of you will have seen that clip already, as I posted on my Instagram account last week, and for those of you that didn't see it last week, why not start following me on Instagram? In fact, since I'm in the middle of a shameless social media plug, why not subscribe to the channel as well and click that bell icon to see how quickly we can get this channel up to 24,000 subscribers. If you really want to earn extra bonus points, one of the fish later in the video remains nameless, despite being in the tank for almost a year. Therefore comment your suggestions below, and it could be your name which gets chosen. Right, on to the fish stuff. To start off the update, I have another missing fish. My female Melanaris wrasse has disappeared without a trace. I can't remember the last time I saw her, so I'm not sure what's happened, and I've looked everywhere around the tank to see if she jumped. Literally no sign of her anywhere. This is a real shame for me, as her and the male used to spawn on a regular basis. Unfortunately, it was always late in the evening, and I was never able to capture it on camera for you all. I just realised that sentence made me sound proper creepy. It would appear that I've been actively staying up late, and so far I'm disappointed I haven't been able to capture some good old-fashioned fish porn on camera. No wonder people think us fish people are strange. Even I'm starting to think I need to get a life now. Anyway, let's get back on track. My Melanaris had a very similar mating ritual to my silver belly and canary wrasse, who took it upon themselves to find love in different species. Remember, we don't judge here. And now that my male Melanaris wrasse is single again, who knows, maybe he will turn his attention to the only other single wrasse in the tank, my little possum wrasse. With regards to my corals, things have gone from bad to worse with regards to my SPS stripping. If you watched my last video, you will know that the temperature on my tank rose by 4 degrees due to the unusually warm weather we're having in the UK. That weather continued for another 2 weeks, however we appear to be back to the usual rain again. Unfortunately, even once the issue had been corrected, my SPS continued their further decline, and as you can see, I've had to remove even more colonies. So far I've lost about 25% of my corals, with many of the survivors still showing signs of stress in one way or another. I've still got 4 colonies which I'm pretty sure I'll lose, and then hopefully that will be the end of it. Luckily, I have frags of almost everything squirreled away in a Doomsday Vault tank which will allow me to regrow the majority of what I've lost. Something I can't grow back though is my Rainbow Trachyphilia, which unfortunately didn't make it. Of the 4 trackies I have, it's only right that the most expensive coral died first. We all go through these tough times in the hobby. In fact, I'm almost certain the hobby is a real life representation of Murphy's Law. For those of you that don't know about Murphy's Law, it essentially means that if you give something enough time, anything that can go wrong, eventually will go wrong. This is so true when it comes to fish tanks. If you look at the comment section on my last video, you'll see people's tanks have been affected by everything from white spot to hurricanes. Finally, I moved my nameless convict tank down to the sump temporarily. It just so happens that she was the easiest herbivore to catch. I literally just used a net and scooped her off the surface while I was feeding the tank. This was a pleasant change to the usual hours of sitting watching a fish trap while every fish except the one you want goes in to eat the food. The plan was to have her finish off any remaining bubble algae that emerald crabs can't reach as it has grown on the glass. Within 2 days my sump is almost completely void of any problematic algae, with my convict tank even willing to almost beach itself in just a centimetre of water on top of my marine pure block in an effort to hunt down every last strain of hair algae. These algae issues should disappear now, as I found out what was causing the elevated phosphate levels. The hose which feeds my Rowaphos reactor had become blocked, which was significantly reducing its effectiveness. I've cleared the blockage and my HANA checker is now reading 0.04, which is much better than what it was reading last month. Hopefully, this combined with my reduced feeding schedule has broken the back of my phosphate issue. Something I have noticed since reducing my phosphates is my alkalinity took a dip almost immediately. Although this is purely speculation, I can only assume the elevated phosphate levels have been suppressing my coral's ability to utilise as much alkalinity. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is the same for every tank. Some tanks run with much higher nutrient levels than mine and look much better than mine as well. It's more that my corals aren't used to a tank with higher levels of nutrients, and stability is the key to success in this hobby. That's it for today guys, hopefully my next update will be a little more cheery. At the end of my last video, I confirmed that I'd be giving away a refractometer and for my Patreon prize competition, a £70 gift voucher for Maidenhead Aquatics or a $100 voucher for bulk reef supplies. As for the July Patreon prize competition, it's now time to reveal the results. In order to qualify for that competition, you firstly need to be one of my $1 supporters on Patreon, and secondly, answer a qualifying fish related question. This month's question was to name the fish in my previous video, which was a Fu Manchu lionfish. Only 18 people entered this competition, which means there was a pretty high chance of winning this, so let's find out who today's winner is. What I'm going to do is enter all their names into a random generator website, click randomise, and the person that comes out on top is the winner of last month's competition. Thank you to everyone that took part and good luck. Here goes. As you can see, this month's winner is Constance Ann, one of my American viewers, who will be receiving a $100 gift voucher for bulk reef supplies. Not bad for a $1 donation. I'll contact you soon to arrange delivery of your prize. Once you've used your voucher, hopefully you'll post pictures on my Facebook page showing everyone what you purchased. As I plan to use the comments from my previous video in another video, the refractometer will be given away at a later date as I'm still gathering content for it. Once again, thank you to everyone that took part, have a good week and I'll see you next time.